with my coach Nick, who has basically helped me throughout my whole prep since August this year. And obviously I'm in off season now, so I'm just we thought it'd be interesting to do a chat, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About what makes a good coach, basically, because I've personally gone through quite a lot of coaches throughout competing over the years and PTs and things, and I feel like I work with Nick really well. So I just wanted to share basically what I think is a good coach and what makes a good coach, and also hear it from the horse's mouth from Nick's perspective as well. Yeah?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So not only is he a really, really good coach and he's really engaged from that side of things, just general coaching, from nutrition, but you also do, well, tell them what you do, basically. You do lots of things, don't you?
Yeah, I am qualified in diet and nutrition. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a qualified counsellor and mindset coach. I work with an entirely different perspective to counselling people, not traditional methods. I don't use any kind of regression or anything like that. I'm the kind of coach, the kind of counsellor and coach that works present future. So I'm not going to take you into sorting a problem out to take you back, to take you forwards. I'm going to take you forwards from where you are. You're just going to leave it behind. It's going to be dealt with along the way, but you're just going to leave it behind. We're going to focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
I think one main thing for me is basically the fact that you saw the vision of where you wanted me to be before I even realised it.
Yeah.
So that's like one of my main things, is having someone who believes in you and who is going to really like see you as a champion before you even realise it yourself. So the other thing is, like, for me, like the educational side of things, like I think a coach should coach you to be better, not just tell you what to do. So education and sharing knowledge, which I think you're super, super good at. Yeah. Obviously I know everything that you do is like, you look it up online and stuff.
Everything is, it's not just bringing knowledge. Knowledge could be considered as retention of information, and it's not just bringing that as knowledge, it's actually knowing. There's a difference between knowledge and actually knowing. And if you view anything, you need to review peer review, which is not some
like white papers and
white
stuff,
papers, peer review science, which is something that's tried and tested, and it can be applied time and time again. So you can actually do it, you can take it and you can apply it in your own life. So you hear about walking the walk. Well, it's understanding exactly what you're doing, where you are, and knowing, not just having the information, but actually knowing how to apply it, because you've applied it to yourself. You've had 1,000 failures, but never the same one twice. And this is where true coaching comes in. We got our heads together and we put down a number of different aspects. I asked Colette, says, what's your idea of a coach? What makes a good coach? And she wrote a few things down, and I wrote a few things down, and we're just going to bring them things, and we're going to just throw a little bit of light on them. Okay, so do you want to go first?
Well, yeah, also, if anyone's got any questions for me, it's like about competing or dieting or my experiences with bodybuilding in general, like happy to answer those, but equally Nick is more than happy to answer anything you've got to ask him with regards to, well, nutrition, mindset, anything really, to be honest.
Yeah.
So just type in the comments and we'll try and answer them as best we can. But I think it is a good coach is someone who listens, and you are a very good listener, and I like the fact that you are like local to me, so you're always at the end of the phone and you always listen to me. Basically, like, you always were there and you listened to what I wanted and how I wanted to work, and then you fed back to me your thoughts, and you were honest as well.
I believe it's important to hear what your client's saying. Many people listen but don't hear. So what we have is we have a conflict of understanding, and we have a conflict of actual language that we're using. So is what I'm saying what you think I'm saying? Are you actually hearing what I'm actually saying? So
that sounds like a riddle, but it's not.
It's not a riddle.
I understand
No,
it now.
it's not a
Depends
riddle.
on you, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not a riddle. It's actually being able to hear what somebody's saying, not what you think they're saying. You actually have to ask a few questions in between, but it gets you. So it's a little bit of detective work, a little bit of forensic work, you know what I mean. But if you're going to be good, and you're going to be able to discern and work very quickly, think laterally, you know, you're going to get there. You're going to be a good coach. And basically, I'm not good because I say I'm good. I'm only going on what other people say. That's all. I just do what I do, and I do it to the best of my ability, but I do it for others.
I think the best thing I've found about working with you is the fact that I take I won't call it a problem, a challenge to you, and things occurred in prep, like they do, as a challenge. Always was my legs, always holding water basically.
Yeah.
Generally that was the issue, and each time we did something we thought, right, next time we've nailed that now, we know what to do, and it didn't work, so we'd have to do something else. So you're very good at problem solving, I would say. And if you don't know something, you will go away and work it out, or figure it out, or do research.
Yeah, I don't see problems as problems, I see possibilities. The best way to be the best problem solver is to look and never see a problem, see a possibility. Because pretty much nothing's impossible. So if you see possibilities, I just see problems like bread, you know what I mean? Like food. They feed me, I buzz off them.
He loves that.
I just love solving problems, and it's what I do really well. So basically, I'll not stop working on something until I've sorted it out. But it isn't that difficult, and I think it's part of it, and a lot of it is actually, if I'm honest, it's experience and knowledge and how to apply that. So you really and truly, Colette came to me and said, we've got a problem with this, and then the outcome is it's either A, B or C, or it can be a mixture of A and B or B and C. So that's how we looked at it. And we just did a little bit of detective work, which is a bit of forensic work in itself, you know what I mean, so we're working through it like that. And it wasn't hard to do, but the main thing is, it's commitment gets you into it, but persistency takes you out of it. And so, we've got the commitment, but being persistent, came through with it. That was the order.
And I think, you know, we logged everything. I'm quite meticulous, right? So I logged everything down in a prep book, and I've still got that book going now. So and the things that have occurred, guys, in like outside of prep, in going into off season, we're still working together really closely. Reverse dieting, and just there's other things that have occurred. Like I've had digestion issues for a couple of weeks, I've had blood sugar level issues for the last week. We've managed to combat that now, but making small changes, and I think bringing on to the next point of what makes a good coach is communication.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Again, that's the other side of the listening bit. So to be able to communicate. So if I say something to Colette, I want Colette to understand exactly what it is I'm saying. I don't just want to speak illegible words. I want her to understand what I'm actually saying. So we both speak in the same language. So we basically establish a baseline in what we're talking about. And I understand Colette. I had to have time to get to know her. There's a bit of a joke that we have between us. She's a nutter. So basically, it works well. But yeah, there's the communication. That it is a big thing. It is 100%. A big thing. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's from my perspective as well, is tell Nick what I think. So it's feeding back, and also even down to working with Joe, my personal trainer, feeding back what it feels like or how I'm feeling, or just you would know your own body better, but how Nick's not supposed to be able to read my mind, right? So I've got to tell him what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a bit lightheaded at times, I need to tell him And I'm not dependent on you to solve all my problems, but I think it's important that we communicate daily on how it's going. And it's not always a physical thing either, mindset-wise as well. You're very, very good with mindset and the psychology behind things. So that has massively helped me, and I think that's what sets you apart from other people. So I think the other thing is, what I think makes a good coach is willing to collaborate with other professionals. So, such as Joe, a trainer.
No man's an island. You can't do it all yourself. And if you do need help, I have a few other people who are very experienced, and if I need help, I can get in touch and say, did you ever deal with this? Did you ever face this? You know, I admit it doesn't have much, but you know, they are there in case I need it. And I never assume that I can sort everything out. But what I do is I just face everything as I do everything literally. It's a challenge, and there's always a way. There's always a way, and I've never found that there hasn't been a way yet. So nobody ever said it's easy, but it's entirely how you see it.
Definitely. So working with others, I think, is super important. Does that come into your compassion for people as well? Be able to work with your clients but also work with other professionals? Because some people don't like working with people that they're not directly involved with.
Being a people person,
Being
a people person doesn't always mean that you want to be with people. You can love people, but yeah, you still require your own space because we're all individuals. You know what I mean? So we do require some time on our own. But I don't work with people. When people say I feel sorry for somebody, I have sympathy, I have empathy. Well, I have compassion because I do it out of a genuine love for people, wanting to see that individual succeed, wanting to empower them, wanting them to have their own answers. You know what I mean? To not just think and have an opinion, but to actually really just think and create something new. And be you've heard this said 1,000 times before, but to be the best version of yourself, or to be everything that you can be. Now that's today, but tomorrow's another day. So tomorrow you have progressed. You're the same person, but you get up that morning and you're going to go through a whole experience of what you're going to learn in that day, which is going to change you either for the better or for the worse. So how you apply what you learn is going to so much influence you. And another thing, nobody knows you better than you. So you might be able to hide it from other people, but you can't hide it from yourself. So to be truly happy, happiness is an outcome, it's how do you feel about how you're developing as a person? You know, that's what I'm about. I'm about people being happy and content within themselves because they can be the best that they can be, and that's what I'm seeing in Colette. Sometimes I see things before she sees them, and then, you know, lead her into them things. So, you know, but I don't want to be the voice of a conscience and the person who's making the decisions. I don't want to be that for anybody. I just want people to make their own choices and their own decisions, but be informed.
Yeah, definitely. So I think you saw me competing or winning the British title before I even realised it. Let's go back to the legs, right?
Yeah.
So I've always held a lot of fat around my legs, and I'm very dominant on the leg area.
Yeah.
So you were like, you will get your legs shredded. You will, and I didn't believe you. So I think the vision that you had is really important. Even, to be honest, like for my business as well, you said, you know, look, if you compete, it'll go into other areas of life, and it has, and you believed in all them things for me, so...
You brought your business, you brought your personal life and your business together, and you integrated them, but I saw this and I saw how it could work, because it's called just being real. It's called being real. And in this world today, we love what's real. I mean, we do, because there's that much falsehood. I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about generally, and we all know what I mean. and so people can naturally discern what's real. They can cut through the rubbish and everything. And so I'm just about what's real. So Colette, I saw she's a real person. She's a natural bodybuilder. She's a fitness athlete. And I saw how this can work with her business, photography, and how she's a brand photographer, and how she works with things. And I saw that this could work really good. So I saw this before she did. So I said, this can really work. You can use this. You can be really good for other people. You can be good for others, so people can see you. You know what I mean? And it's going to help you. It's going to help other people. So it's a win-win scenario.
And I think it's important that you've just got someone that just like 100% believes in you, champions you, whether it's bodybuilding, life, just really believes in you basically.
Yeah.
So what else do you think makes a good coach from a coach's perspective?
We've hit on a few already.
Yeah.
But obviously motivation. So, and enthusiasm. So you have to have an enthusiasm. I'm enthusiastic towards life. Life's great. Life's what you make of it. It can be as bad as you want, or it can be as good as you want. But my own personal application of motivation, how I work with motivation to motivate my clients, even to motivate myself, because I don't do anything for anybody else that I don't do for myself first. And that's how it works with everything. So everything's really tried and tested. So if I'm talking motivation, then that's a big thing. And the enthusiasm, the natural enthusiasm and the love for life, that comes out. We've already hit on the good listener bit, but the morality. I do think that you have to be moral and truthful. So I'm not going to say anything to Colette that isn't 100% truthful. But obviously, I'm going to think how I'm going to say it. So I'm going to say it in an encouraging way, never a discouraging way. So I'm not going to slap her down with something. I'm going to call her up and not call her out. This is a bad thing. No, I'm not going to do that and slap her with that. I'm going to say, this is a better thing. So I'm going to lift her up to something. And I think that's something that you have to learn how to work with that in life. I think you have to learn how to become good at anything. And nobody's great at this thing. And as I said, I've had 1,000 failures, but they were never the same thing. Never the same thing twice. And sometimes you can have 20 knockbacks, but the 21st knockback gets you through.
I think it's just like not being afraid to fail. You've taught me. That's the one thing you've taught me. Just don't be afraid to fail. Just go for it. Just bloody go for it, isn't it? And I think you've actually given me a lot of confidence. Actually, I would say that I'm not the same person I was when I started with you in August. No,
definitely not. Definitely not. You've come a long way in a short space of time. But you were the kind of mind that were just, I think, you just wanted to learn. You just wanted to learn, and you were open to that learning, and you were, like, life's fresh, it's good, it's great, you're seeing things new for the first time. And I think it's important to be like that throughout your life. If you ever become closed off, I've seen this, I know how this ends up, do you? Okay? Because if you do become like that, you do become so closed off to things that you won't try new ideas, and that's when you stop going forward. Colette's open to all these things, and she's going forward, she's going to keep doing it. She's going to keep doing it.
Life's for living. I would say if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, then what's the point? What's the fun?
That's right, it's exactly right. If it doesn't challenge you, don't change you. You need to be challenged every day, and I do really mean that. Something, it doesn't matter how big it is, but you just need to be challenged every day. If you're not challenged, you don't change. So you should invite challenges as a chance to change, to better yourself.
I think so. So what about passion then? You've talked about motivation. I think you've got bags and buckets of passion for anything that you approach, and that also transfers.
Yeah.
You talk about energy in the room and transferring energy.
If all the discipline in the world will not get you through something. It has to be passion driven. The best way to get something to move is to push it as well as pull it. Because if you're just pushing it, a front wheel drive car pulls better in the snow. So that's pulling. So if you push something, you can push somebody, you can get behind them and push them, you can get in front of them and pull them. So why not do both? So passion drives it. Passion drives it. You know, you're not gonna, you can do something in life, but you're either going to do it or you're going to be great at it. So I would champion all my clients to be great at what they're going to do, and not try to do something because trying isn't doing. Trying something that comes before doing, and it can be like an obstacle. So don't try, just do it and be passion driven. Passion will drive you straight through it. And the days where you are a little bit tired, where things get a little bit difficult, the discipline will get you through. The discipline, the best motivation I know is just absolute discipline. It grabs hold of, the discipline grabs hold of motivation by the seat of the pants and goes, get through that door. And that's it. And the best motivation, I've said this before in other videos, but the best motivation I know is NASA launch. 3, 2, 1, go for it. That's it. You don't think, you just do it because you know what you're going to do, and you just do it. And that's what you do. And that's what I've said to, we did a video, didn't we, on one of the last shows?
Yeah, and we were sat in Premier Inn. So can I just say also, with Nick, he has travelled to every single show with me, stayed over at every show with me, he's been there, 100% supportive, just cheerleading me on. And like, dedication-wise, I could not ask for any more. Like, he turned up at the gym, what, 10:30, 11 at night?
Yeah, there's a story behind that though. There's a story behind that.
You went shopping for my water, for my Evian. Just like, if you want a coach, get someone like Nick who's 1000% dedicated to the cause and making sure you win, basically.
Yeah.
And dedication, for me, number one.
For me, it's just normal. It's just normal. I just think if you're not going to do this, you know what I mean, this is how I am. This is the kind of, you know, if I coach somebody, this is what you get. You get 100%, it's all or nothing. There is nothing in between. You know, it's like, I don't know how to be any different.
You can't help it, he just loves that.
That's it.
Yeah. So, what else? What else have we got on this list? So, I think I've kind of covered all mine, really. Apart from having someone who knows or gets to know you as an individual, spiritually, mentally, physically, like as in how your body reacts to foods, even how your body reacts to training. And as you mentioned, you're a sports therapist as well, so you do my treatments. So we did a lot of, in prep, we did a lot of manipulation on my legs, so lymphatic drainage. But even past sort of competing and going into off-season, we're still doing treatments for different kind of things now, aren't we?
Everything evolves. So the treatments never stay the same, and also, by the way, we can treat the same body part the next week and it requires a completely different treatment. I've been a physical practitioner now for quite some time, and I also work in evidence-based stuff as well. So, but it doesn't mean to say I can't try something new out. But we've tried a few new things out with Colette. I mean, brand new. I mean, things, and they work really well. But just because they work well one time doesn't mean to say they're going to work well again. So again, you know, it's having the experience to know what you're going to do if Plan A doesn't work. You know, Plan B. But whatever it is, it's just not getting stuck. Just not getting stuck, just being there. And as Colette mentioned as well, knowing her as a person, I work holistically. So I work, you know, body, mind, soul, and I look at people, and when I'm talking to people as well, if we're talking upbeat, you know, we're talking the energy in the room, etc. I want to lift an atmosphere because I want to bring truth to it, and I want to get to know the person and see what the person's got, see how far we can go. You know, if you have nothing to work with, let's say, I'm not saying this about people, but if you have nothing to work with, you can't create anything from nothing, can you? But if you have something to work with, you have to be able to find that base level, find that in that person, see what you have. Everybody's got something. Everybody has got something. There's nobody that's got nothing. anybody who thinks I don't have what it takes, you know, I'm very good at seeing what it takes, and everybody has got something to bring. And Colette is competing. She is a natural bodybuilder, a natural athlete. But when I work with people as a life coach, as a motivational coach, as a mindset coach, I'm not working with bodybuilders or athletes. I'm working with people in general. I'm working with people in the business world, wherever. I'm sometimes working with, in fact, I have worked with quite a handful of people just recently who've been struggling with grief. You know, there's been, if you know what I mean, there's been a lot of it happened over the last 18 months. People have lost loved ones. So I've worked with these people, and I want to take people from where they are to where they can be, and I want to give them some vision, something that I can see, you know what I mean, so that we can get them to where they need to be and where they want to be.
That's the main thing. I think the vision is definitely there. So I think we've covered most things, to be fair. Apart from mindset, you think, like, I know you're massive on mindset and how you think about things, which obviously helps propel forward into goals. So I do think you've got a massive ability to motivate and inspire me, other people, definitely. So I think encouraging motivation, being inspirational, and it's not really necessarily by just waffling on about different things. It's showing, because you walk the walk, right?
Yeah, sure.
He does the stuff he's telling me to do. So you'll happily come into the gym with me, or you eat clean. Like, his diet is pretty much a bodybuilding diet. Like, he's not just telling me to and then going and scoffing a pizza. I feel like we do it together sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So mindset wise, it's really easy for me to work with Nik because he does it anyway. Like, he does what I do, so it's easy for me to also in off season to continue on the road of being on a reverse diet and being quite regimented, but also he's encouraged me to be off plan as well, which I think is really good. And it's been difficult that for me.
It's been flexible. It's been durable. It's been more like rubber than plastic. Plastic doesn't. Plastic. We're not doing the Bruce. Well, actually, we could do the Bruce Lee thing. It's like be water. There's nothing conforms more than water. But we're not talking about conforming in this. We're talking about flexibility and resilience. So be rubber and don't be plastic, because plastic bends and snaps, but rubber stretches and always comes back. So when we're talking about resilience, when we're talking about an ability to spring back, an ability to adapt, so you need to have a flexible approach to things. And the main thing is you need to be able to apply. You need to be thinking about two things. Longevity is mainly one of them. How can I, be the best that I can? It's aging well, really. Everybody wants to age well. So yeah, flexibility comes into it, longevity comes into it, and can I sustain this? So that's where you get sustainability as well as longevity. These two things go side by side, because we're not just doing this for a season. We're doing this for the rest of our lives.
Although I would say that I now look younger because I've lost a lot of weight, and I've probably aged you in my prep.
I have aged, yes, I have aged. It has been a journey.
It's been a definite journey.
I've aged 9 months since meeting Colette. No, actually a bit more. Yeah.
Nik now looks older. He's lost all his hair now. So thinking to next year then, obviously, what makes a good coach? I know I'm competing next year 100%, so I'm going to continue with yourself throughout off season to get some lean gains.